Behind the glitz and glamour of the R&B music scene lies a darker truth. Hidden beneath the catchy beats and sensual melodies, several R&B stars have found themselves on the wrong side of the law, facing the harsh realities of life behind bars. This is a list of R&B stars who currently rotting in jail. R. Kelly. Robert has encountered legal troubles dating back to the 1990s. However, he was only formally charged for his illicit activities in 2021. In the early 2000s, R. Kelly enjoyed immense popularity as an R&B recording artist, but today, he resides in prison facing charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Concerns about Kelly's behavior were raised as early as 1994, when, at 28 years old, he coerced a 14-year-old Aaliyah to falsify her birth certificate so he could marry her. Although this marriage was short-lived, Kelly's problematic actions persisted. Over the years, Kelly repeatedly found himself in legal trouble, often facing misdemeanor charges. One notable incident occurred in 1996, when a woman alleged that at the age of 15 in 1991, Kelly had caused her harm. In 2002, a disturbing video surfaced, showing Kelly engaging in inappropriate acts with an underage female, further cementing his disturbing reputation. Despite additional revelations of Kelly's lewd behaviors, including possession of explicit material involving minors, charges were dropped due to insufficient evidence. However, the situation worsened when it was revealed that Kelly was holding women captive in an abusive cult, exerting total control over their lives and recording explicit acts with them. As more victims came forward with allegations of abuse, Kelly was ultimately sentenced to 30 years in prison in June 2022. The disturbing saga of R. Kelly's criminal behavior continues to unfold, with his incarceration extending as of the latest recorded data in 2024. The rest on this list are guilty of their offenses, but some will shock you. Casanova. Casanova, another musician currently incarcerated, is confronting the potential of an extended period of imprisonment, with the prospect of a maximum sentence of 60 years. He faces a multitude of charges that are extensive, like the requests on a child's holiday wish list. In December in the year 2020, Casanova drew attention due to his association with the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation gang. His arrest was with possession of firearms and charges connected to gang activities tied to the demise of a 15-year-old. Despite not being directly implicated in the incident involving the teenager, Casanova's affiliation with the gang enabled law enforcement to unveil more facets of his illegal behavior. It was determined by law enforcement that he was implicated in a robbery in New York and the trafficking of more than 100 kilograms of controlled substances. The situation escalated in 2021 when it came to light that Casanova and an associate had shot a rival gang member at a nightclub in Miami. The associate had boasted about the event in text messages, leading to their swift apprehension by the authorities. At the peak of his legal difficulties, Casanova took to social media to assert his innocence, even though the justice system possesses significant incriminating evidence against him. Casanova, whose legal name is Caswell Sr., is presently incarcerated awaiting trial. His scheduled court appearance was set for December 6, 2022. Irrespective of the trial's verdict, this individual will endure a minimum of 5 years of imprisonment as a consequence of the serious nature of his offenses, potentially facing a sentence of up to 60 years. In the year 2024, Casanova is currently detained, facing continued legal disputes and an uncertain future. Young QC, who identifies himself as a musician despite not having released any music, was named Kaumana Wilson at birth. Presently, he is incarcerated for 99 years for being the mastermind behind the end of his mother's life, Yolanda Holmes, who was a salon proprietor who had devoted her life to assisting him. Yolanda showed young QC abundant affection, presence, a luxurious sports car, and employment, all intending to deter him from the criminal lifestyle favored by his father. However, young QC's insatiable greed and lack of patience compelled him to desire more immediate wealth and possessions. In a startling and unfortunate choice, he engaged the services of an associate by the name of Eugene Spencer to terminate his mother. The act was executed in a cruel and amateurish fashion. Following the removal of his mother, young QC promptly embarked on a thoughtless spending spree. He depleted her bank account, extracting substantial sums of money in cash. In an especially egregious exhibition, he tossed the cash at his alleged supporters in a video uploaded on a social networking platform, flaunting his recently acquired riches. His extravagant way of living and blatant neglect of his mother's well-being eventually led to his downfall. Legal authorities soon apprehended him, and young QC was charged, put on trial, and convicted of the serious crime of first-degree murder. The individual named Eugene Spencer, whom he paid a meager $70 out of the agreed $3,500, was sentenced to 100 years in prison for his involvement in the criminal act. The narrative of young QC portrays a somber and convoluted account of avarice and treachery, demonstrating the lengths to which individuals are willing to go to fulfill their ambitions, irrespective of the consequences. Keep watching as we delve into the musician whose situation garnered the interest of Kim Kardashian, prompting her to campaign for his liberation. Austin Jones. Austin Jones gained recognition for his vocal performances, showcased in a series of videos on YouTube featuring cover songs as well as his compositions. With a substantial fan base of over 500,000 subscribers and a high viewership count, he became a prominent figure within the digital music sphere. Nevertheless, in 2015, the music publication Pup Fresh disclosed that Austin had been engaging in inappropriate communication with underage females. In response to these revelations, Austin decided to cancel his scheduled appearance at the upcoming Vans Warped Tour and posted a video on his YouTube channel in which he acknowledged the accusations and conveyed profound remorse. On June 9, 2017, a search warrant was carried out at Jones's residence, authorized by a United States magistrate judge. On the same day, Jones was apprehended at O'Hare International Airport. The inquiry uncovered his utilization of an online platform to partake in inappropriate conduct with adolescent supporters. These activities culminated in his detention and ensuing legal actions. Austin Jones was given a 10-year federal prison sentence on May 3, 2019, by the court. It was determined that he abused his authority, resulting in serious repercussions. The inquiry revealed that the Vans Warped Tour organizers had made efforts to conceal his misconduct, adding complexity to the matter. Due to the consequences of his actions, his YouTube channel was deactivated, thus eliminating the platform that had previously garnered him recognition. The case of Austin Jones underscores the significance of accountability and ethical behavior, particularly for individuals in positions of influence. Despite the severe consequences of his behavior, it also underscores the necessity of taking responsibility and the consequences of one's decisions on their professional and personal life. This experience is similar to the next on this list, Young Thug. Before gaining widespread recognition through popular songs such as Pick Up the Phone and Lifestyle, Young Thug, also known as Jeffrey Lamar Williams, had previously engaged in unlawful behaviors that were later uncovered. Despite his rapid ascent in the music business, his prior involvement with criminal groups and illicit actions remained a hidden aspect of his fame. On May 9, 2022, the rapper was taken into custody with multiple charges that tied him to a larger criminal inquiry. The legal proceedings against him date back to 2013 and encompass 56 distinct charges. One notably grave accusation pertains to the leasing of an Infiniti Q50 sedan, purportedly utilized in the fatal shooting of Donovan Thomas Jr., a member of a rival gang. This linkage substantially bolstered the severity of the accusations leveled against him, underscoring the depth of his purported engagement in gang-related criminal activities. Young Thug's predicament escalated after his residence was raided by law enforcement. The search resulted in the discovery of various controlled substances, resulting in accusations of possessing these substances to distribute them. Moreover, the authorities also came across hazardous firearms such as sawed-off shotguns and rifles. adding to Young Thug's legal woes by levying charges of unlawful possession. Young Thug's affiliations with the YSL Street Gang played a crucial role in the legal proceedings. The gang, recognized for participating in numerous unlawful activities, had 27 additional members who were similarly implicated in criminal offenses. This broader examination brought to light the underlying problems within the gang and ensnared numerous individuals in a web of illicit conduct. Currently, Young Thug is incarcerated and anticipating his trial, scheduled to commence on January 9, 2024. The trial carries weighty implications, with the prospective outcome being a prison term of 20 years to life imprisonment. The case has attracted considerable public interest, not solely due to Young Thug's fame, but also for its exploration of the interplay between celebrity status and criminal behavior, and the severe repercussions that may result from such a collision. Jacob Hoggard. Jacob Hoggard, a prominent Canadian vocalist, initially achieved fame as a runner-up on the television show Canadian Idol, before establishing himself as the frontman of the popular pop-rock group Hedley. Despite amassing a sizable following of youthful enthusiasts throughout Canada, Hoggard's conduct offstage eventually marred his standing. In 2005, Hedley faced legal issues following an incident where a minor was discovered unconscious outside the location where the band had carried out a performance. The specifics of the event were not clear, but it was disclosed that the victim declined to undergo a forensic examination for utilizing legal pressure. The band issued threats against the venue, which may have deterred them from discussing the situation further. In 2016, the situation became more serious when accusations of sexual misconduct were made against Hoggard. The courage demonstrated by one victim in speaking out inspired another to also share her account. As a result, in 2018, Hoggard was charged with offenses such as sexual interference and 2 counts of assault resulting in bodily harm. One of the assault charges pertained to an incident in which a female under the age of 16 was involved. The legal dispute was extended due to the postponement of court proceedings caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. Hoggard was officially accused on June 5, 2022, regarding the 2016 accusations. Nonetheless, the accusation linked to the minor assault was dismissed. It is anticipated that he will attend court to confront the remaining charges by August 4, 2022. Gunna. Upon the revelation of Young Thug's arrest, a disruption of considerable impact reverberated within the music industry. In conjunction with Young Thug, 27 other persons were implicated in the YSL gang, a comprehensive roster that garnered widespread interest. Notably, amidst these individuals, one name garnered particular notice from aficionados of hip-hop, Sergio Kitchens, recognized by the moniker Gunna. Gunna's legal troubles were relatively less significant when contrasted with those of Young Thug. While Young Thug was confronted with numerous charges, Gunna was solely charged with 1 count of conspiracy. Accusations levied against him encompassed possession of illegal substances with the intent to distribute and receive stolen property. Despite the seriousness of these charges, Gunna's criminal record appeared comparatively minor in comparison to his co-defendants. Upon the disclosure of the identities of individuals named in the 56-count indictment, Gunna made a deliberate decision. Acknowledging the gravity of the circumstances, he chose to surrender himself voluntarily to the authorities. This legal turmoil arose at a time when Gunna's professional trajectory was on an upward trend. His music was gaining significant popularity, and he was experiencing unparalleled success. On June 14, 2022, Gunna utilized social media to communicate with his audience. In a sincere statement, he professed his innocence and contended that he was the victim of false accusations. He maintained that all defendants linked to the YSL gang were accused of participating in a conspiracy to carry out racketeering, a criminal enterprise designed to safeguard and advance their organization. Gunna's circumstances became more serious when it was revealed that he had been refused bail. Consequently, ensuring his confinement, until the designated trial date of January 9, 2023. Throughout this challenging experience, Gunna has articulated a profound feeling of disillusionment, perceiving a violation of his civil rights by the judicial system. Gunna did some bad things, but this is nothing compared to the rest of this list. Michael Tyler. Michael Lawrence. Tyler, also recognized by his stage name Mystical, is a rapper whose professional trajectory has been overshadowed by legal complications. Mystical rose to prominence during the 1990s due to his dynamic stage presence and unique artistic approach. Nevertheless, his personal life has been frequently entangled in legal turmoil. In 2004, Mystical was found guilty of battery and extortion, following an accusation that he coerced a woman into engaging in activities and then threatened her. As a result of this incident, he was handed a 6-year prison sentence, of which he served approximately half before being released. Nonetheless, Mystical's legal issues persisted. Subsequently, in 2017, he faced renewed arrest, this time on accusations of abuse and kidnapping. The nature of the allegations was grave, involving claims of sexual assault and unlawful confinement of a woman. Consequently, these charges exacerbated his tarnished reputation and compounded his existing legal troubles. In 2018, Mystical surrendered to law enforcement officials, and by 2019, he was formally charged with the aforementioned offenses. If found guilty, he could potentially receive a substantial prison term. As of 2023, Mystical's legal matter is still being litigated in the judicial system, with legal processes continuing. His numerous encounters with law enforcement have eclipsed his musical accomplishments, transforming him from a revered musician into an individual associated with legal disputes. Suge Knight. Suge Knight, a prominent individual in the music sector, formerly maintained a strong control over Death Row Records, a company that played a pivotal role in the emergence of gangster rap. In his role as chief executive officer, Knight oversaw a lineup of significant musicians, such as Tupac Shakur, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg. During his tenure, the company produced innovative albums like The Chronic, Doggy Style, and All Eyes on Me, which had a lasting impact on the music genre. Even though Death Row Records experienced early success, its fortunes started to diminish after the untimely passing of Tupac. The negative actions and reputation of Suge Knight, such as engaging in violence and exhibiting poor management skills, played a significant role in the label's decline. Ultimately, the company went bankrupt and was sold in court proceedings. Knight's personal life was characterized by frequent legal issues. He encountered various charges throughout his life, such as assault, parole violations, and possession of illegal substances. The most notable of these incidents occurred on January 29, 2015, when Knight was engaged in a violent dispute. Following a heated disagreement, he used his vehicle to run over 2 individuals, resulting in the death of one and causing serious injuries to the other. The subsequent legal proceedings were intricate and eventful. Knight ultimately entered a plea of no contest to charges of voluntary manslaughter and received a prison sentence of 28 years. His first opportunity for release on parole is scheduled for July 2037. Nevertheless, there have been consistent signs of declining health in Suge Knight over the years, leading to apprehensions that he may not survive until his next parole review. YNW Melly. YNW Melly, recognized for his popular tracks such as Mixed Personalities in collaboration with Kanye West and Suicidal featuring Juice WRL, has encountered considerable legal challenges throughout his profession. His legal complications commenced in 2015 when he received a 1-year prison sentence for 3 instances of aggravated assault. Merely 2 years later, he was once again incarcerated for breaching probation. Between the years 2018 and 2019, YNW Melly was detained on 2 separate occasions, both related to the possession of prohibited substances and firearms. Nevertheless, his most grave legal challenges stemmed from a tragic event that occurred in October 2018, where 2 intimate associates of YNW Melly, namely YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie, were fatally wounded. The nature of their demise raised significant doubts and suspicions. On February 13, 2019, Melly surrendered himself to law enforcement officials who suspected his involved in a plot with his fellow YNW rapper Cortland Henry to orchestrate the deaths as if they were the result of a drive-by shooting. This purported collaboration resulted in a criminal charge of murder being brought against Melly, who has been awaiting his trial. Originally scheduled for May 23, 2022, the trial encountered disruptions and changed. It was revealed in September 2022 that Melly allegedly conspired to break out of prison with assistance from his legal counsel. Presently, in 2024, YNW Melly is still in custody, anticipating a resolution to his legal matter amidst persistent legal disputes and complexities. Guess who else is on this list? Kid Creole. Kid Creole, whose birth name is Nathaniel Glover, emerged as a trailblazer in the genre of rap music February in 1960. Acknowledged as a vital figure within Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, he contributed significantly to the development of hip-hop during its nascent stages. Collaborating with his brother, Melly Mel, as well as 4 other members of their ensemble, Kid Creole played an instrumental role in establishing a musical collective that was honored with induction into the prestigious Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the year 2007. Despite a successful career, Kid Creole faced financial difficulties in his later years. Despite his significant impact on the music industry, he was forced to take on various odd jobs, such as a handyman and security guard in New York, to support himself financially. In August 2017, Kid Creole experienced a significant event in his life when he was apprehended and accused of the homicide of a homeless individual. The occurrence took place close to the location where Creole was employed. The precise circumstances surrounding the interaction between Creole and the deceased individual are not entirely known. However, Creole has consistently asserted that he responded in self-defense by stabbing the individual on 2 occasions during the altercation. Currently, Kid Creole has not faced a trial for the allegations brought against him. He is incarcerated, diligently preparing his defense in response to charges of second-degree murder. The legal proceedings concerning his case are ongoing, contributing a melancholic dimension to the narrative of a former esteemed figure in the rap music industry. Tay K. Tay K, a rapper who found himself on our list at a young age, had his career prematurely halted by unforeseen events. At the age of 22, he is currently incarcerated, serving a lengthy 55-year prison term. His ascension to popularity was rapid and full of potential. In 2017, he was a rising star in the hip-hop industry, with his breakout hit The Race making a significant impact on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. It is challenging to predict if The Race would have garnered comparable success without the significant events that ensued following its publication. When Tay K's song entered the music charts, he was already facing considerable scrutiny from the authorities. In the earlier part of 2016, Tay K was implicated in a devastating home invasion that led to the tragic demise of 21-year-old Ethan Walker. Together with 5 cohorts, he had orchestrated a robbery of a nearby substance dealer and his partner. As a consequence of the incident, Tay K was confined to house arrest. Tay K struggled with confinement due to the restrictions imposed on him, leading him to cut off his ankle monitor and run away. Before his escape, he provocatively tweeted that he would have to be apprehended in the hood by law enforcement, further emphasizing his defiant fugitive status. Tay K's fugitive existence grew increasingly tumultuous as time progressed. He became entangled in a deadly altercation that resulted in the shooting death of a 23-year-old male during a robbery outside a Chick-fil-A in Texas. Moreover, he violently assaulted and stole from a 65-year-old male, who later identified him to law enforcement. Since 2017, Tay K has been incarcerated, facing a minimum of 27.5 years in prison before being considered for parole. His situation highlights the sudden downfall experienced by a promising emerging artist. dimming the prospects of a successful music career. Big Lurch. This narrative is particularly unsettling, resembling a haunting fable recounted by a fire. Antron Singleton, also recognized as Big Lurch in the realm of music, underwent a significant ascension and descent in the mid-1990s. Although he initially showed great promise, his first album did not succeed, and his situation deteriorated following a collision with a drunk driver that left him with severe neck injuries. Battling both physical agony and professional disillusionment, Big Lurch turned to PCP, a potent psychedelic substance. Rather than seeking assistance, he opted to engage in extended substance abuse, disregarding nourishment and experiencing profound disorientation. During his altered mental state, Big Lurch falsely believed that his roommate was possessed by the devil. Due to his large stature of 6 feet 7 inches, he was able to overpower her, resulting in her unfortunate demise. Upon being discovered by authorities, he appeared disoriented and was gazing at the sky, displaying signs of being oblivious to his actions. In November of 2003, Big Lurch received a lifetime prison sentence with no possibility of parole. Despite attempts to argue insanity as a defense, it was not successful as the influence of the illegal substances was deemed a significant contributing factor to his crime. His case serves as a stark reminder of the destructive consequences of substance abuse and mental health disorders. Despite the public information, some others were still involved in similar cases. Jim Gordon, formerly a renowned drummer within the blues and rock music realm, gained recognition for his partnerships with iconic musicians such as Eric Clapton and Alice Cooper. His music was admired by numerous fans for its rhythm and beats, yet behind the scenes, Gordon struggled with a serious mental health condition. He started exhibiting troubling indications suggestive of schizophrenia, including enduring auditory hallucinations, some of which resembled the voice of his mother. Despite Gordon's attempts to manage his mental health challenges, his condition was mistakenly identified as a severe alcohol dependency. The accurate diagnosis remained elusive, and as his mental illness advanced, it started to overwhelm him. On a particularly distressing occasion, he was influenced by a troubling voice to act aggressively towards his mother. Sadly, this escalation resulted in a violent altercation that culminated in her tragic death. In 1983, Gordon was captured for committing a severe crime and was subsequently diagnosed with schizophrenia. Despite being initially sentenced to 16 years, his ongoing risk to society, combined with the gravity of his mental condition and the nature of his offense, resulted in authorities deciding to keep him incarcerated. This situation serves as a poignant example of the detrimental consequences of untreated mental disorders on individuals and their families. C. Murder. Corey Miller, also recognized as C. Murder in the music industry, has become a subject of considerable interest and debate. Back in 2003, the former rapper was taken into custody and accused of the homicide of a teenage follower named Stephen Thomas. Notwithstanding the gravity of the allegations, C. Murder has continuously asserted his lack of guilt. The event in question can be traced back to a rap battle that occurred in 2002. Following Thomas's departure from the stage, he inadvertently made contact with a member of C. Murder's entourage. This trivial encounter led to an escalation of violence, resulting in Thomas being fatally wounded by gunshots. An essential element of the legal proceedings revolves around the assertions of improper behavior related to the witnesses. Subsequently, 2 witnesses came forward asserting that they were pressured by law enforcement and legal representatives to identify C. Murder as the individual responsible for the shooting incident. Additionally, Darnell Jordan, a security officer present at the scene during the shooting, acknowledged that he was apprehended and detained until he acquiesced to providing testimony against C. Murder. In 2020, interest was resurgent in the case following advocacy by Kim Kardashian for C. Murder, with a focus on revealing the truth and ensuring justice is served. However, despite Kardashian's intervention, C. Murder is still incarcerated, serving a life sentence. The critical requirement for his release would be the presentation of compelling evidence demonstrating his innocence and establishing the identity of the actual individual responsible for the crime committed on that fateful night. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.